Hello everyone, this is the LEGO Marvel Superheroes Thanos Ultimate Battle set, and as always, movie-related sets are liable to have some movie-related spoilers, so make your choices on what videos to watch appropriately, and please be sure to check out the pinned comment on this video, the pinned comment before you comment yourself. So this is the third Ravager M ship that LEGO has made to go with minifigs, and it's the third design. It's a completely different design from the last one as far as how it's built, and definitely a completely different design from the first. Each has had its own thing going for it. This one has a nice broad wingspan. I think it's one of the more elegant of the three. I'm not sure if it quite beats the first one, but the first one, had the most pieces and the largest size and the most bulk overall, but I think this looks really nice on display. It does have a lot of studs visible and also some anti-studs showing the undersides of things, but I think it looks better in person than it does on camera, to be honest. I think it looks really good. Some things that are unique to this one in terms of how it's built include the dihedral with the wings. They're actually angled up just slightly from the horizontal plane, which is a nice thing, and it works well if you kind of bring the gull wing thing into it. You can change the angles of a lot of these winglets as usual. This goes up and down, this goes up and down, these go in and out, these go up and down, these go up and down, kind of the usual fare, the usual stuff that you would expect here. These anti-studs on the insides of these vertical fins don't look all that great to me, but I'm glad that they have the nice thinness to them. Makes everything look a little bit sharper than if they had tried to bulk it up and cover everything up with tiles. And they don't have many diagonal tiles that would really help to smooth things over. So I'm actually quite a fan of this design, to be honest with you. It has just a couple of stud shooters, one on top of either wing. Surprised they didn't put more in it than that. Uses the same canopy piece, printed canopy piece, as the last one that they did, but here this is angled forward much more, so that's a good thing, I think. Does not hold 4 people inside of that canopy area though. Instead it holds just 2, but this is a little removable scooter thing that you can pull out. You just grab that and pull it out, and then that's able to fly around or scoot around, use it as a small speeder, and it's able to hold on to all the accessories you need for both of those minifigs. Nice to have a little deployable thing. They have a pretty nicely shaped space there to imagine the figures getting back into the inner passenger compartment, and the rear also opens up pretty nicely, and to get better access you can take off the top, so that all opens up. That's good. It's just a single sticker on either side. There's one there, and there's one there. No tape deck in this one, unfortunately. Get a couple more seats though. You can put a couple more people back there. Plus, you have space for some cargo. And I'll show you what the cargo can be just a little bit later on. Yeah, this is nice that, again, it's just a single piece with a single thickness of, in this case, a tile. Looks like these were just a single plate. And it works well. It gives you a nice smooth space there. Interestingly, this is very flat on the back because it was designed to have another set actually get attached to it. These flaps come down to close up that space. The back of the box gives you a preview, and once I review this set, I will show you the two together in person as well. Looks like they go together pretty nicely, and it'll make the whole thing look a little bit more aerodynamic and complete rather than just ending with that flat plane. Here's a look at the ship from a lower angle, just to help you to get a little bit better understanding of how it appears from some different views. So they did actually build it up around the side a bit and close that up around the fuselage so it doesn't look too blocky and incomplete there. It's really just the back that looks particularly flat, and again, that's because of the docking that's available. It's a pretty large unit that gets attached to it, so they needed some space for that. I think it works, or looks a lot better once you put that on there, but this is not bad. It just has that one angle that's not as good as the rest for sure. Of course, Thanos himself and the Infinity Gauntlet are two other major draws and selling points for this set. I think Thanos looks okay. I personally am still not a major fan of big figs. I think that LEGO has done a handful of pretty good big figs, but this one is just kind of normal. You know, it doesn't really stand out in its overall quality. Of course, it just has the regular articulation of the arms that can be moved up and down individually, and the hand can be rotated around, and he has his sword wielded at the moment. No ability to move the legs or to move the head. The quality of the printing on the figure, I think, is pretty good. There's nothing to be seen around the back as usual, but you do get the stand for the Infinity Gauntlet, and the gauntlet itself looks pretty good. Obviously, you can plug in each of the stones or gems, and this set comes with the Reality Stone, and in fact, as with the other Infinity War sets, they give you a sprue of 4 of those, so if you lose one, you still have 3 more. You can go through that process of losing them a number of times and still not be out of luck, and you can pull this off and put it directly on him. I have to say that is a better look for sure. You know, it takes away some of the plainness and sameness of the big figs. You know, this makes it definitely a lot more prestigious looking and more unique to have that different handpiece there. And I think that's done pretty decently well. It's not able to hold things quite as much, but that makes sense, and you know, rotating this around does make it look like a proper fist. I guess that side isn't the best looking right there with the open space there. Maybe they could have closed that up a bit better, but overall I think they did a pretty good job here. I like the depth behind it, and I look forward to after I go through and review all of the Infinity War sets, look forward to going ahead and putting all the stones in this and seeing how that looks. Here's another Iron Man Mark 48. The figure is not exclusive to this set, but all the extra boosters attached to him are, specifically with the sticker sheet that makes that specific to this set. The parts themselves, I think, are not unique in any way, but that's a pretty good build. You know, it scales really well. All the booster elements, I think, scale really well to a LEGO minifig, the way that they are proportioned. You can change the angles of these a bit because they are attached to the exact same backpack piece that they used for the Iron Spider. So they've got some bars, and this can be angled in and out, and you can change around the kind of blast pieces, so they give you a full set of the blast and splat pieces. I'll show you the rest of them as well, but I think it's a pretty good looking thing. We need to look at just the figure up close though. Maybe he doesn't want to be seen up close. That's just a little combination that they suggest for one of the blast pieces and one of the splat pieces to connect them together to show some firepower coming off one of the hands, and then they give you a couple of sets of these, and then a couple of these smaller ones as well. Just the full set of all the pieces that they introduced just last year for those types of comic elements. And again, otherwise this is the exact same Iron Man figure that's in the Sanctum Sanctorum set. Still a really good looking one, I think. This one's not printed quite as well as the last one I got around the base of the mouth with the gold, but the eyes look pretty good, and those eyes look really great from a distance even. It's a testament to good design in my opinion, and it has good torso printing around the back. It has the 2 face prints, so this one shows all the heads-up display stuff. I still think that looks a little bit too pale there. Could have gone with a darker base color maybe. You know, that's really the way you want to see it right there, and I think it needed to have just some darkness around, you know, the shadows around the edges. But this is how they did it. I'm okay with it. I understand why they did it, and I do appreciate an attempt to make things pop with the colors and detail. And there's just his standard expression. And then rounding things out, here are Star-Lord and Gamora. And I think between the two of these, Gamora is the star as a figure. I like the printing on the face, and I like the hair, and I think the torso is decent. Not a highlight of the set. I think the legs are kind of the low point of that figure, just because the print is not done all that well on this one. Just a little bit thin. And then Star-Lord's torso print is actually done pretty well. And standard face for him. Prints around the backs look about as good as the front. And there are their alternate faces, just a little bit off with Gamora. There you go. I figure a lot of folks will want to buy this for Thanos and the Gauntlet. And if you already have one of the M ships, you may be a little bit annoyed, ultimately kind of having to buy another one, unless you're going to wait and buy just the figures at a big markup on the aftermarket. If you have the second M ship that they did, this is definitely a better one. You will like this much more. Repurpose one of them, have them battle against each other or together or something, and have this one be the superior one, because you'll see in person it's just a much more majestic thing. Iron Man with all the boosters, pretty cool. Good Gamora. Star-Lord is Star-Lord, he's Star-Lord. Overall, I think it's a decent set. I think that it'll be better with the combination. I think I would feel better about it if they hadn't just recently done an M ship that, in my opinion, was not as good as this one. And I wish that Thanos was more detailed, more something. Just he needs more, in my opinion. He's not special enough to me. The Gauntlet is good, and the Infinity Stone system they came up with is good. I look forward to filling that up, but just the figure itself for something that's so valuable and that will, like I said, drive so much of the volume of sales of this set, I wish that he was a little bit better. So those are my thoughts on the set, and most importantly, I have shown the thing to you so you can make your own determination whether you think it's worth it or not, and what you think of the set on the whole. Let me know if you have any thoughts about it after checking out the pinned comment. Feel free to leave a comment of your own, and I'll keep working and talk to you again soon.